Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. We've been working in the yard all day long, and it's about supper time, and I want to see if I can't make supper in about 30 minutes. We're going to have some lentils, and I want to show you how I cook them. They're real easy to cook, okay? The first thing you need to do is pour them out in a pan or somewhere where you can check them. Now, this is the type I use, the Great Value, and I have gotten them at the health food store and all over, but the Great Value brand has the least rocks or whatever. In fact, you almost never find a rock. And I'm cooking half the pack, and the rest of it I'm just going to put a clothespin on for the next time. So, pour them out, and now I'm just going to look over them real good and make sure there are no bad ones in there, and any that are shriveled up, you want to take those out. Now, I can tell you the Great Value brand, I just can't ever even remember finding a little rock or a stick or anything. Now, there's one that, see if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's got a little brown spot on it. I'm taking that one out. And any others that you see. Now, it only takes just a second or two to look them over really good. All right, I think that'll do it. And I'm going to just put them in the a little basket here to wash them off real quick. Now, I'm going to, oh, there's another little dark brown one. Can you see that? See, it's just looks different than the rest of them. So that was two, let's see, three that I found. All right, I'm going to dump these in this little strainer basket. And I'm going to wash those. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get my onions started. So, just got one small onion, and I'm just going to use a little bit of olive oil, and I'm just going to slightly brown the onions. Now, I'm only going to need about a tablespoon of olive oil. And I'm not even going to use a cutting board. I'm just going to cut this onion rough cut and put it right in the pot. So we're going to have lentils with some jasmine rice, which I love, and we're going to have some just some steamed apples with a little bit of butter and a little bit of cinnamon on them. And we're going to also have some sauerkraut, and if I get real industrious, I'll pull out some of the kale that we got from our garden. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put some water in this pot for the rice. So let me see what I need to do. Now on the jasmine rice, and I'll show you that too. Jasmine rice is a sticky rice, and it's also an aromatic rice. And most of the jasmine rice in the world is grown in Thailand. And it just smells really good, and it smells really good when you're cooking it. Now, so that it cooks a little bit better if you go ahead and rinse it. And I know you're not supposed to rinse rice because they put vitamins back in it. But I go ahead and rinse mine and let it just sit in some of that cloudy water, pour it off, and then add water back. So, I'm going to get that going, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back, and I have rinsed my lentils, really good. And my onions are just slightly browned, and I'm going to go ahead and dump the lentils in. Just stir that around a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic powder. Not much, just a little bit. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the water. Now lentils will cook, or at least the kind I get at Walmart, the Great Value brand, will cook in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and add water to maybe an inch above where the lentils and the onions are. And I'm going to let that come to a boil. Then I'm going to turn it down on low and just simmer it for about 20 minutes. That should do it. Now you don't want to salt them until they get done, okay? Because if you do, it'll just take a lot longer for them to cook. Now I went ahead and pulled out some of the kale from the garden, and this is unseasoned, and it's just cooked already, and it came from our garden. So I'm going to thaw this out in the microwave, and we're going to also have some of the sauerkraut that I fixed several weeks ago. Now I want to talk to you about the lentils again. Now 1 cup of cooked lentils contains about almost 17 grams of protein, where 3 ounces of lean roast beef contains about almost 18 grams of protein. So this can be your meat, okay, in a meal, and lentils are great served with rice. Now my rice is already boiling, and I've just tilted my lid a little bit and turned that down to low. So the lentils and the rice really just take about the same amount of time to cook. That is, if you get the Great Value brand, okay? I don't know about the others, but anyway. All right, I'm going to peel a couple of apples and get them steaming, and we'll put some butter and cinnamon and sugar on those, and have the kale, and that will be our supper. So hopefully I can get this ready in about 25 minutes, 30 at the most. We'll be back. Alrighty, my rice is already done, and my lentils are just about done. I've gone ahead and thawed out the kale in the microwave, and the apples are all done, okay? Now, I want to talk to you about the sauerkraut. Now, I made this, I'm going to guess and say 3 or 4 weeks ago. Let me turn it up so you can see me in case my sister watches the video. All right, the cabbage contains a bacteria that is very, very beneficial for your digestion. So if you take probiotics, or you try to get the bacteria in the yogurt, this is the same thing. So what you do is just cut your cabbage up and wash it real good, and just mash it down, get it below water, put salt in it, and age it at room temperature 3 or 4 days, and then it can go in the refrigerator. So this again has been several weeks, but we get our probiotics right from the sauerkraut. Now you can't cook it and you can't heat it, because you'll kill the bacteria if you do that. Again, this is beneficial to your intestines, and it'll solve a lot of problems for you. It really will. We eat maybe a tablespoon. We try to eat that at least once a day, sometimes every other day. But it also tastes really good. All right, my lentils are just about done. I'm going to go ahead and season those now, and I'm going to go ahead and season the rice. Now, when you're cooking jasmine rice, you really don't want to season it. You don't want to put salt in the water until it gets done. Then's when you salt it, because if you do, it's going to come all apart. This is sticky rice, okay? And really the only kind of rice we eat anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and put some salt in that. I'm going to go ahead and salt my kale and my lentils that are still cooking, but they're very close to being done. So I'm going to put a whole bunch of salt in there. I got this little salt grinder at Walmart, and I do not recommend it, okay, because it gets all steam up in there, and you can't really use it over the stove where you have steam. Plus I have to leave it sitting in that, so then when it dries out, the salt comes out. So anyway, all right, we're going to go ahead and plate this up, and I'll show you what it looks like. Now the lentils, let me just tell you what they taste like to me. The lentils, so you can see me talking. Hi to my sister, okay? Here I am, okay? You can see me while I'm talking. The lentils taste the brown lentils. Now I don't know about the others. I don't know how to compare those. But the brown lentils taste very much like speckled butter beans. Now, I'm not talking about frozen speckled butter beans like you get in the store or the canned ones you get in the store. I'm talking about the kind that grow in the garden and you go out and pick them fresh and cook them. That's what lentils taste like to me, okay? And my husband thinks that they sort of taste like speckled butter beans, but he's not a big fan of speckled butter beans anyway, but he does like lentils. Now, sometimes I put bell pepper in them. You can just put all kinds of stuff with them. But anyway, what we have left over from tonight's meal, I'm going to just combine any leftover rice, and I will put that on a salad for us tomorrow at lunch, probably. And we'll be eating it cold. And they're really good that way, too. Plus, you're getting all the protein. So I'm going to plate this up and show you what it looks like. All right, we are ready to eat our supper. We have got some steamed apples, some sauerkraut, and the jasmine rice with the lentils, and we've got some kale, and of course iced tea. Now the extra rice and the extra lentils are going to be mixed together, and we'll have those with a salad tomorrow, or really kind of on the salad. All right, now this meal literally just cost pennies, okay? Mainly because we grew the kale, the apples I got at the farmer's market, the cabbage to make the sauerkraut I got at the farmer's market, and this is jasmine rice and the lentils, of course, which are both very inexpensive. So, I guess this would be a vegetarian meal, really, except for maybe the butter I put in the apples, or a vegan meal, let's put it like that, a vegan meal. All right, we'll see you next time. I hope you'll try the lentils. Remember, they can replace your meat in a meal, and you can flavor them any which way you want to. See you next time.